Hey, welcome to News You Can Use. I'm your host, BG, and there is so much going on with our stories today, including an Ontario teacher who has been charged for assaulting 2 students in her class. We'll have those details in a hot second. Plus, stateside, the trial, of Kyle Rittenhouse is underway, and the judge has been doing the absolute most. Trust me. Then, over on the West Coast, here in Canada, a doctor has saved 2 people's lives not once, but twice. But it's the backstory that is gonna leave your jaw dropping. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Well, before we get to all of that, I do need you to do a few things, including subscribing to this channel, tapping that notification bell, and follow us on all of our social media. Those details are in the description below. Okay, so another teacher in Ontario is in trouble, this time in Waterloo. Listen to this. A 52-year-old unnamed teacher from Alpine Public School has been charged after she allegedly taped 2 first-grade students to their desks and left them unattended in a dark classroom for an unspecified period of time. Now, last night, the family of one of the kids held a town hall to discuss the situation. Just take a look at this.
He was moving a desk and the teacher told him to stop, and supposedly he wasn't. We're not sure. He said he did, but still they taped him to the chair. Also, another student, he is of Caribbean descent, and he is non-Muslim, so that's another fact. He was also taped to the chair. Now, from what we have learned, that to him it has occurred multiple times, 3 times, but to my nephew it only occurred once, and this was the first time.
Now, let me give you some more details on this, okay? Because the 2 boys, okay, the kids here were 2 boys. They are both of color, and one of them is actually from Pakistan. The other is reportedly of Caribbean descent. As somebody who's also from Caribbean descent, this ain't right. And this ain't gonna fly. Devin, you were at the meeting last night.
I was.
You heard a lot.
So the meeting was held by the boy who's of Pakistani descent, his parents, and the Canadian-Pakistani narrative. And the family of the boy really want to drive home that they don't believe that this is Islamophobia. They believe it's systemic racism throughout the school board and throughout the school itself.
Okay, well, that's interesting because there aren't a lot of details that can be shared right now because the police investigation that's ongoing, and the matter is before the courts. Now, the teacher is set to appear in court on December 8th. What do you even say about something like this, though? Like, when you think about it, like a teacher taping kids physically to a chair and then leaving them in the dark, like, I feel like we're going back to the dark ages.
I do too, and like, to me, also being of West Indian descent, this is so out of line. Like, where do you come from putting your hands on someone else's child? Like, that's the big thing to me. And then
it's looking like the teacher is looking for hands to be thrown on them.
And not even that, you're now leaving them alone. Like, you are leaving like, what if a fire broke out in the school or something happened? We've got 2 5-year-olds taped to their desks by themselves.
It's infuriating to me.
It is.
Right? Because schools are obviously supposed to be safe spaces. Are they not?
They are. And so basically how this all came out was an anonymous source. They're not sure, like, no, it hasn't been specified. They're thinking another teacher walked by, saw the 2 boys taped down to the desks and alerted the principal, and the principal called the parents. So that's how it all came out. The teacher's actually been charged with assault, but the family are pushing for further charges, like forcible confinement.
And they talked about that at the town hall, right?
Yes, they did.
Take a look at this.
We want to highlight this issue is because currently the teacher has been charged with 2 counts of assault. From our research, we're not lawyers or anything, but you know, it's a very difficult thing to actually have the teacher face some jail time or have some kind of punishment. We are looking for a justice for our nephew, and that kind of justice only comes when she's punished. And the other thing that we're looking for is we want to make sure that the Crown or the prosecutor is doing everything in their power to make sure that they're laying all the charges that could be laid, and they're looking to punish her and set an example for any future kid that this occurs to.
Anyway, folks, listen, we're going to keep you posted on what happens in this situation, but for now, we are sending prayers to the families of these kids, and let's just ask you, like, what do you think should happen to this teacher? Let us know in the comment section right now. All right, so looking at a court case south of the border, Kyle Rittenhouse's trial is well underway, and everybody is asking, is the judge in this court case biased? Have you heard about this? We'll get into it. So first, let's get back to the facts, because Rittenhouse is being tried for shooting 3 men during anti-racism protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Right, Devin?
Yeah, so there were protests that were going on in the area after a police officer shot a black man, and there are a lot of weird details surrounding the Kyle Rittenhouse case in particular.
The 17-year-old actually arrived at the protest carrying an AR-15 gun as well. Now, the teenager was reportedly a firefighting cadet and worked with the police in some capacity. He also had first aid training. So listen to this. He went down after the protest started and began cleaning graffiti off of businesses. That's what he says. Then 2 days later, he returned, and this is when the shooting apparently happened. Now, Rittenhouse argues that he was just there to help people who needed medical care and apparently to protect businesses from rioters.
It's important to know too that or at least to make note of the fact that he does have family in the area, but he himself does not live in the area. He lives in Illinois, and the protest was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so he traveled out of state. Let's just clarify that for people. So before we even get into the trial, this guy is 17 years old, right, at the time. 18 now, but 17 at the time. And just so we're all aware, it's actually illegal for a minor to carry a weapon.
And that's one of the charges he's facing. But mostly, I just want to know, where are the parents at during all of this? Like, he's a minor.
Yeah.
Where are your mom and dad?
So let's get back to the trial, because the trial did begin this week, and the judge has just been out of pocket the entire time. A lot of people have voiced concern that the judge is acting like he's Rittenhouse's lawyer, and clearly has a lot of bias.
Just run the tape.
I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, I'll leave it at that. So I don't know what you're up to.
And so Rittenhouse claims that he was attacked by the men who were at the riot. This is what he claims. And he wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He was just trying to defend himself. This is what he says. He says that the men attacking and chasing him led to the shooting. Now, Rittenhouse actually burst into tears during this trial, okay? I'm going to try to hold myself together because clearly he wasn't able to hold himself together when he took to the stand and recounted what happened. And a lot of people are calling it forced. Take a look.
And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski, and there were there were 3 people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
That's what That's where I run.
We're going to just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir.
Because I don't know, I didn't see no tears.
I
saw a lot of red.
I saw a lot of
Hyperventilating.
dramatics.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of build up to it. I saw somebody really trying to force them tears out.
So the case, it is ongoing. It will be interesting to see what happens here, but I would love to know, like, what do you think about the case thus far? What do you think about the judge? Let us know in the comment section right now.
But I think it's time for some good news.
All right. So listen to this. A doctor in Calgary, shout out to Alberta, saved the same 2 people's lives, not once, but twice. Dr. Corey Adams is his name, and he's based again in Alberta at the Foothills Hospital, I should say. He was out adventuring in the mountains with his family over the summer when he came across a man who had collapsed on the way back to his car. Devin, Dr. Adams filled you in on the details of this entire situation?
Yeah, so he told me the whole story. My jaw was dropped the whole time, but it's pretty impressive. His wife's actually a doctor too, so
Okay.
It's like a whole Wonder Woman Superman thing going on there. But yeah, he told me all about it.
We came out here and we went for a hike, one of our first times, and we went out to Canmore, which is a beautiful area, and went to an area called Grassy Lakes. And so we went with friends, my wife and my two little guys who were 3 and 5, and we just finished the hike. Friends of ours said that just one car ahead of us, that there had been a person who had come unconscious and had passed out or fallen on the side of the road when he was walking back to his car. And my wife, who's a gynecologist as well, and we both got out to try and help out. There were a couple of responders who were walker passerbys, and they felt that this gentleman appeared to be blue and cyanotic. And we then helped out, started the process of trying to resuscitate this gentleman. We couldn't find a femoral pulse or pulse anywhere. And then we just started the protocol of CPR that we've been trained to do. Eventually, when the fire trucks came into the mountains, we were able to defibrillate him. He required intubation. He got IV access, and we resuscitated this gentleman basically on the side of the road. And then when he was intubated, they took him into the local emergency room there in Canmore. And on Monday, actually, I came into work on Monday as a cardiac surgeon to see my patients. And one of the cardiac surgeons there mentioned to me that there was a person who was being referred for coronary bypass surgery who had CPR by one of the cardiac surgeons and his family that weekend. So I was surprised that this gentleman had done so well. And I went by to see him. And his wife and son were there, who I recognized, and they recognized me. And they took the breathing tube out, and miraculously, this gentleman was perfect. I did coronary artery bypass grafting surgery for him, and he did fantastic and went home about a week later. My wife again and the 2 kids and I were just on a Sunday afternoon when I was actually on call. We left our house to take our boys for an activity, and we came down from our house probably about 500 meters, and we stopped at the stop sign, and it was my wife astutely who had seen this person running. My wife saw him fall. I didn't. And once I would stopped at the red light, we looked across the street, and he was face down. We followed the rules of CPR again, started CPR on the side on that running trail. I was on call for cardiac surgery that day, and when they had brought him into the emergency room, he had regained his consciousness. And then a couple of days later, I did a minimally invasive valve replacement and a replacement of the aorta, and he went home a few days later. So, I mean, the CPR, the fact that our family did CPR two times in a year or just over a year, it's just.
You know what? I love that story. And that was a great find. That was a great find.
Thank you.
All right, listen up, folks. That's a wrap, okay, for this news you can use. But before we go, I do want to let you know that we have a special episode of The BG Show coming out this Sunday, because it is a Hennessy conversation with one of the best dance groups the world has ever seen, Les Twins. Check out this sneak peek. Everybody knows how to dance, but not everybody knows how to dance well.
Okay.
Is that safe?
Okay. No. Okay for you, because you guys put rules into dance, which is no rules. Okay. If you dance the way you want to, you feel great about it when the baby dance. Yeah. You feel great. Do you care about what you think?
True.
You love it.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm feeling that. So let me ask you this.
Dance right now.
Dance
Show
right
me
now?
how you dance.
Go off, BG.
Let's see yours. Let's see yours. Let's see yours.
No,
come
I
on.
haven't learned yet.
No, you can do
I
it.
haven't learned yet.
Okay, all right.
I'll take some lessons. Next episode.
All right, well, I can't wait for that to drop. Reminder to tap that notification bell so you're reminded of when it drops this Sunday. And a reminder as well, oh my gosh, a lot of reminders. If you do have any stories or topics you want us to look into, email us news@brandygonashow.com. And don't forget, we do need you to subscribe to this channel. Oh my gosh, tap the notification bell and follow us on social media. It's time to go. Bye.
Bye.
Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel. And listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.